In the last class, I was talking about what you mean by a walk, right? So, walk is nothing but alternative sequence or an alternative sequence of vertices and edges starting from some vertex and ending at some another vertex or maybe the same vertex at times. Okay, so I had already given you example. Let me give you another example. Okay, let me give you another example of a walk. So that will clear things. Let me draw the graph like this. So this is my graph. Suppose V1, V2, V3, V4, V5. Okay. So suppose like this, I have an edge E1. This is the edge E1. This is the edge E2. This is the edge E3. There is a loop. All of these are possible. Okay. This is not only for simple graph, this may be for multi-graphs. So E1, E2, E3, E4, suppose this is E5 and so on. Okay, so I cannot go to V5, maybe I have to connect one edge. Believe it, I'm not interested in E5 for the time being. Hold on. Let me draw an edge here also, call this edge as E6. So suppose I'll just show you one example of a walk from suppose V1 to V3. So one walk from V1 to V3 may be just V1, E1, V3. That is, this is one walk from V1 to V3. Let's take another walk, or I want to see another walk from maybe suppose V1 to V5. Okay. So what I can do, I'll start with V1. I'll go to, or I will use a comma if I want. So E1, V1 to E1, I'm taking this path, comma, V3, comma, suppose I take E2, comma, V4, suppose I go back to V3, okay, then I go to E6 and I have reached E6, I have reached V5. Maybe I can take a loop again E4 and again to E5. That also can be done. So my point is that a walk may have repetition of edges and also repetition of vertices. As you can see in this walk, the vertex V3 is repeated. Okay, but the edges may also be repeated. If you want to go from V3 to V4 two times, you can do that. So basically, a walk has no restriction on the repetition of edges and on the repetition of vertices. Okay. Okay. Now, when these two, the starting vertex and the ending vertex are different, then that is called an open walk. And if these two are same, suppose I start with V1, I want to come back to V1, then that is known as a closed walk. So open walk and closed walk. What is an open walk? When the starting vertex and ending vertex are different, that is known as an open walk. When the starting vertex and closed vertex are same, that is known as a closed walk. Okay. So this is what I mean by open walk and closed walk. That is clear now. Length of a walk. Length of a walk means the number of edges used. That means 1, 2, 3, 4. What is the length of this walk? The length of this walk is 4. As you can see, I will take somewhat 4 steps or 4 edges to go to the vertex V5 from vertex V1. So what I mean by the length of a walk, it simply means that the number of edges that are in the walk. Okay. A walk from V1 to V1, this can be written like this, V1 to V3 walk. Yes, Rajkamal, like you cannot count all the walks. That can be countably infinite, you can say, because you can, or maybe it will be finite definite. No, it can be countably infinite because you can repeat any number of edges any times. I may go from V3 to V4 100 times, 200 times, 300 times, that there is no restriction. So this is the why we will be no more be interested in walks. We will just make new definition using this walk. So this was the V1 to V5 walk. Okay, and a walk from V1 to V1 may also look like this, is this. This is a walk from V1 to V1, as simple as that, containing no edges. Another walk from V1 to V1, another walk from V1 to V1 may be this. I go from V1 to E3 using the edge E1. You may use commas or dashed. E1 to V3, and again I go from E1, go from E1 towards V1. This is also a V1 to V1 walk. Okay, this is of length 0 because I have used no edges, and this is of length 2 because I have used 2 edges, 1 and 2, to go to V1. So this terminologies are just make you write what is this: open walk, closed walk, and what is the length of a walk, the number of edges that is used in the walk. And a walk is called a trivial walk when this happens. Only one vertex is there and no edges is there. We call that walk as a trivial walk. Otherwise the walk is called as non-trivial. And secondly, what I mean by the length of a walk, the number of edges used. So let me very quickly write all these definitions, so that will help us. Okay. So few things I should add very quickly. Number one, a walk from U to V is also called U hyphen V walk. Okay, so whenever I have a walk from U to V, I can simply write that is a U hyphen V walk. So a walk from U to V. Okay, so if U and V are the same, if U and V are the same, we say that U to V, or U to U also you can write, if they are same, is a closed walk. U to V walk is actually a closed walk if U and V are different. We say that U to V walk is an open walk, or open U to V walk. Okay. So similarly, we define the directed walk. So a directed walk from U to V is also called a directed UV walk. So just the directed word will come, but I will not write those definitions. So I will simply write whenever there is a directed graph, they are defined accordingly. Just directed walk will be there. Okay, directed things will be there. So I hope you are clear with closed walk and open walk. Whenever the starting vertex and the ending vertex are same, that is a closed walk. Whenever the starting vertex and the ending vertex are different, that is an open walk. Okay. So this is all about what I mean by the length of a walk. Okay. So where they have defined the length of a walk, they haven't defined length of a walk. Yeah, they have defined the length of a walk is the total number of occurrences of edges in a walk. So if I ask you find a walk of length 5 from a vertex U to another vertex V, that means in your walk there should be 5 edges being used. Okay, there should be only 5 edges that you can use. So that is what I mean by length of a walk. It means that how many edges are occurring in your walk. If there are 10 edges occurring in your walk, we say that your walk is of length 10. Okay, so one more thing, a walk of length 0. So this is the assumption that we make. You can say a walk of length 0 is just a single vertex. So whenever I write a single vertex, so you assume that that is a walk, that is also a walk, but of length 0, because I'm not using any edge. I'm going from V1 to V1. You can think of that. So any confusion up to here using these terms? Okay. Now, as said, like walk, we are not much interested in walk. Okay. Now with the help of this walk, we define something called as trail. Okay, we define something called as trail. So this will be very important for us, trail and path. So what is a trail? A walk with no repeated edges. A walk with no repeated edges is called a trail. So now I am putting some restrictions to my walk. What restriction I am making? There should not be any repetition of edges. There should not be any repetition of edges. Then that walk will be termed as a trail. Okay, and we define another thing, something called as path. A walk with no repetition of vertices, or no repeated vertices is called a path. So now I have defined what is called as trail and path. So what is a path? When my walk has no repeated vertices, then that walk is given a new name, path. And if my walk has no repeated edges, then that walk is given a new name, trail. So now we have defined something called as trail and path. Now you note one thing. So in trail, repetition of edges is not allowed, but the repetition of vertices is allowed. So try to understand my point. Like look at this example. Look at this example. If I, what do I say? Yeah. Look at this example. So this walk can be called, called a trail. This walk can be called as a trail because you see the edges are not at all repeated. E1, E2, E3, E6. So all the edges are different here. Even the vertices are repeated. That doesn't matter in a trail. So this I can say this is a trail because there is no repetition of edges. Okay. Definitely this is not a path because V3 is repeated twice. So not a path. So for a path, what is the condition? No repeated vertices. Now one thing you note, when the vertices are not repeated, the edges cannot repeat. Do you agree with me? Just try to make any graph or try to visualize things. When vertices are not repeated, then edges also cannot repeat because edges are basically dependent on vertices. Edges is always drawn between the vertices. When I am not repeating the vertices, how can the edges repeat? Okay. So keep in mind that a path is actually a walk without repetition of edges and without repetition of vertices. Okay, there will be no repetition of vertices as well as no repetition of edges. So no need to write that no repetition of edges because I know when the vertices are not repeated, then that will be what? Edges will also not be repeated, and hence every path is actually a walk with no repeated vertices and no repeated edges. I can just say that as a note. From definition, it follows that every path is also a trail. Yes or no? But every trail is not a path. Because as already showed a previous example that was a trail but not a path. But I know that every path is definitely a trail, because a path is also a walk with no repeated vertices as well as no repeated edges. So when edges are not repeated, I can call that path as a trail. But more precisely, I will try to call that a path. But keep this in mind. Every path is a trail, but every trail is not a path. A walk or a path or a trail is called trivial if it has only one single vertex. So I will call my walk or path or trail a trivial path, a trivial walk, a trivial trail if it has only one single vertex. But anyways, we will not be interested in the trivial case, because that will have no such properties. Otherwise, it is called untrivial, non-trivial. Otherwise, it is called. So if it has more than one vertex, then it is called non-trivial. Otherwise, it is called non-trivial. Now also keep in mind that we define directed walk, directed path and directed trail accordingly. The definition remains more or less same, just no repetition of directed edges. And I have already told you there the direction will matter, because if I have an edge from V1 to V3, that means starting at V1 and ending at V3, then you can go from V1 to V3, but you cannot come back using that edge. The direction will matter there, because that is just one way. So I will not be defining those things. You can define accordingly. And anyways, we will not be that much interested in the directed graphs. Okay. So anyways, you may define accordingly. So you may define a directed walk as already defined in the last class, then a directed path and a directed trail. Okay. I'll give you examples a bit later. And examples are not that difficult to remember. So now we define something called a circuit. So you see so many definitions. Okay, circuit. So now look at, from walk I have defined something called as open walk, closed walk. What is an open walk? When both when the starting and end vertices are different. And what is a closed walk? When starting and end vertices are same. With the help of a walk, I define trail. What is a trail? Having no repeated edges. Now again, the trail can be open or closed. The trail can be open or closed. If the trail is open, I'll simply call that as a trail. But if the trail is closed, that means when what do I say? When starting vertex and ending vertex are same, then we call that trail a circuit. So in simple words, a closed trail is called a circuit. A closed trail is called a circuit. Okay, so what is a circuit? A non-trivial, so I need here non-trivial. Just containing one vertex will not be called a circuit. So a non-trivial closed trail. So what is the meaning of closed trail? When the starting vertex and the ending vertex are same. From a vertex U to itself, right, is called a circuit. Is called a circuit. So In simple was, I am giving a special name to closed trails. So what special name I'm giving to it? It is called a circuit. Okay. So by the way, I made a slight mistake while defining path. It's all right. It's not mistake, I'll tell you. But one thing I should clear: a walk with no repeated vertices. I should write here, except possibly the starting and ending vertex. Starting and ending vertices. So we are saying what is a path having no repeated vertices, but the first and the last vertex may be repeated sometime. Then that will be called a closed path, by the way. So that is the reason I have said, except, like I said, no repeated vertices, but I am leaving one condition, that except possibly the starting and the ending vertex. That means at times the starting and the ending vertex may be repeated. Okay, we are not restricting the repetition of the first and the last vertex, but no vertex in the middle can be repeated. So we have now defined something called a circuit. Okay, now similarly we have a path. So that path can be open or closed. That path can be open or closed. So if the path is closed, then that is known as a cycle. So a non-trivial closed path from a vertex u to itself is called a cycle. So I have defined so many things. So walk, trail, path, circuit, cycle. All these things will be required while studying further. So keep that in mind. You have the definition of walk. From walk, we have defined trail having no repeated edges, but the vertices may be repeated. What is a circuit? A closed trail is called a circuit. That means repetition of edges is not allowed, but repetition of vertices is allowed in a circuit. Then we define path. No repetition of vertices, no repetition of edges. That is a path. When the path is closed, that is known as a cycle. That means in a cycle, neither the vertices can be repeated nor the edges. So these are the terms that will be requiring a bit later. Okay. So I will give you a home task. You draw a graph. In that graph, you give me an example of a walk, a cycle, a circuit, a path, a trail. Okay, I need at least one example of each of this in the same graph. You draw a graph by yourself, however big, however small, containing suppose 10 vertices or 2 vertices, I don't care. But in that diagram or in that graph, I need one example of each. A path from one vertex to another vertex, a cycle, a circuit. I hope you can do it using the definitions. Okay. So I will not give you any examples. That is very simple to do it. You will do it. Any confusion? Can you do it? Okay. Now look here. Look here. I'm giving an example. Consider this graph V1, V2. This is definitely a graph, right? V4, V5. There may be other vertices. Suppose I'm taking as simple as that. Okay. Now you see, look at this one. I go from, consider the edges to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Suppose I should not write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. E1, E2, E3, E4, E5. Now look at this one. I start from V1, V1 to E1, then V2. You may use commas or lines, doesn't matter. Different authors use different symbols. E2, V3, E3, V4, E4, V5, E5, and then V1. What is this? A cycle, a circuit, a path, a walk. What is the standard name given to this one? What is the precise name given to this one? Be quick. So this is a cycle. So now you can also understand why do we give a name cycle? Just because it just looks complete, right? Without any repetition, it is just complete, just like a complete cycle and nothing else. I'm starting from here, I'm completing it and going it here. So this is a cycle from V1 to V1 or yeah, definitely this is a cycle from V1 to V1. Now you tell me what is the length of this cycle? What is the length of this cycle? The definition of length remains same everywhere. Yes. Yeah. A cycle from V1 to V1 of length 5. Okay. So now if my cycle is of length k, if my cycle is of length k, that is called as a k cycle. So this has a length 5. I will call this graph a 5 cycle. So in simple words, that means I am talking about this is a graph having a 5 edges, and that is a cycle. Okay, definitely there will be only 5 edges, but the first one and the last one will be repeated. So that makes it 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But the edges will be 5. So remember, that is a new definition for us. What is meant by a K cycle? What is meant by a K cycle? And the length is odd, we call that as an odd cycle. If the length is even, that is known as an even cycle. So let me write all those things, because all those things will be required a bit later. So a definition, another one. A cycle of length K is called a K cycle. Okay, cycle of length K is called a K cycle. A cycle is called even or accordingly odd if it contains, or if its length is, if K is odd or even. I should write that. A K cycle is called even if K is even or odd accordingly. So if K is even, that cycle is known as an even cycle. If K is odd, then that cycle is known as an odd cycle. Okay. So this is about cycles. Now one last thing from this topic. Directed paths, cycles, trails, circuits are defined analogous to the above definitions. So you remember, whenever I talk about directed path, cycles, trail, circuits, they also mean the same thing. Just there is one difference. I've already taught you that the edges carry a direction, that you have to take care. Okay, that you have to take care. That's all. Okay. Look at this graph. Okay. So look at this graph. I write like this. V1, comma dash in use E1, and from V2, suppose V3. I again go to E8. again come back to E3. That means I'm going like this. I'm going like this. I am again going to V3 and then coming here using V3. I should have used commas, which doesn't matter. V3 to E3 and then to V4. Okay. Then suppose E6. Suppose V6. Suppose E7. Suppose V7. Okay. So this is definitely a walk. This is definitely a walk. Is this a trail? Is this a trail? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, it is a trail, but is it a path? Is it a path? No, because the vertex V3 is repeated. Okay, good enough. Anyways, I'm just interested in a walk. So this is a V1 to V7 walk. So this is one walk from V1 to V7. Now just take a part or sorry, just take a small part of it. Suppose I have forgotten to write something here. I'm going from V2 to V3, V2 to V3 using the edge E2. I should have written here E2. Okay. Anyways, yeah, that's correct. Now, what I am writing now, V1, E2, V3, E8, V3, E3, V4. So you see, this is a walk from what am I writing? This is V2. Okay, sorry, yeah. This is a walk from V2 to V4. Okay. This is a walk from V2 to V4 as you can see. Right? I'm going from here, and then coming back to V4. Good enough. Now, but you see, this walk is actually a part of this walk. This part is already here, you see. This whole part is here. We say that this is a sub walk of this walk. Okay, suppose if I call this walk capital W, and if I call this walk W1, then we define like this: W1 is a sub walk, or we see like this. And what I mean by sub walk, I'll define sub walk of W. Just like we define sets from subsets from sets. So because this whole thing is present here, exactly the same thing, you cannot skip something like you are taking this much and then skip and then taking this much. No, that cannot happen. If you're just taking a part of this one, then we call that this is a subwalk of this. Now we define something called a subwalk. Understood my point? What I mean by a subwalk? Just like we define subsets. Okay. So now I define something called as subwalk. Before that, one more thing I should explain from this diagram that will help me. Now, just a minute. Let me teach you in the same graph. So again, consider another walk in this diagram. Okay. Let me take this walk. Let me write it down. So, okay, doesn't matter. I'm taking this one. Let me consider this. Consider the walk T. I can give any name to the walks. Suppose I'm going from V1, E1, V2, E2, V3. I'm not going that circular one. Okay, leave it. Then E3, then V4, then E4, then V2, then again E2, then V3 again. Suppose I stop here, or maybe V3, E3, V4, E6, V6. Suppose I'm taking this. Suppose I am taking this. Consider T1. So this is a walk from V1 to V6. As you can see, this is neither a trail nor a path. Anyways, I am not interested in them anymore. So consider T1 to be this. Consider this from here. Okay, V2, E2, V3, E3, V4, V2. I am considering from here to here, right? That means I am considering this V2 to V3 using E2 and then this and then this. I am considering this. Okay, I am considering this. So clearly T1 is a subwalk but a closed one, because this subwalk has first and the last vertex repeated. Yeah. Sorry.
The one.
Which vertex is missing between E3 and E4? V4, no?
So in T1.
In T1, no? Yeah. So yeah, E4, it's V4, no? It's missing here V4. I should write here V4. Okay, thank you. So just you see here, T1 is definitely a subwalk. T1 is definitely a subwalk of T, because I have just written from here to here, nothing else. So T1 is a subwalk, to be more precise, a closed subwalk. I should write closed, okay. So T1 is a closed subwalk of T. Okay, T1 is a closed subwalk of T. So this T1 is present in the walk T, and this T1 is basically a closed subwalk of T. Now what I will do, try to understand my point. From this T, I will remove, from this T, I will remove this closed subwalk. Okay, from this T, I will remove this closed subwalk. That means I am doing it except these vertices. These vertices I will not remove. That means V2 will be intact here. I am removing from here to here, but I'll just keep V2 intact. The repeated vertex V2 and V2, I'll keep one of them intact. That means I am writing V1 to E1 and then V2, V1 to E1 and then V2. I am removing all of this and directly writing here again this. Directly writing here this. So what I am doing basically, I am removing the closed subwalk. This is not true for open subwalk. This is not true for open subwalk, because how can you remove? If you are removing V2 to V4, then which one to take? You have to remove this full, but there is no connection between E1 and E6 in that case. Or otherwise, what should I write here? V2 I should write or V4 I should write? There is a confusion behind it. Okay, so this is not true for open walk that I am doing. It is only valid for closed walk. So whenever there is a closed walk like this, what I will do, I will remove this, the whole thing except that vertex, the starting and the end vertex of that subwalk. So this one is also a walk. You see, V1 to E1. You may check in your graphs. This is actually a walk from V1 to V6, and this walk is actually denoted by T minus T1. This walk is actually denoted by T minus T1 and is called as reduction of T by T1. Okay, reduction of T by T1. I'll teach you what I did, whole thing. I'll just tell you. Now you see what I did here. I'll just tell you. Let me draw it here. That will make your things easier. What was my walk T? It was V1 to V2, then going this. I did not take this one. V2 to directly V3 and then directly E3. This was not there. So I'll just make it green somewhat. It is still visible. Anyways, I went again here, I went again here, right? I went to V2 here, and then again took E2, again took this one, again took this one, and went here. So what I did basically, I removed this complete loop or this cycle I removed. Okay, the thing that I repeated, I removed that and I got simply V1 to V2 and then like this, like this, like this, like this. Initially how it was, you just see initially how it was like this, like this, like this, like this. Okay, then this and this and then like this. But how I have reduced, I remove this whole loop. So I am now from V1 to V2 and this like this, like this, like this, like this. So this is what I mean by reduction of T by T1. Now interestingly, you see what has happened. This T1 was neither a trail nor a walk nor a path. It was definitely a walk. But this reduction is actually a path. You see, this is a path because none of the edges are repeated, none of the vertices are repeated. So this will help us to prove a theorem. The theorem is that whenever there is a U to V walk, there is definitely a U to V path. Whenever there is a U to V walk, there is a U to V path. And the answer is definitely like this, using this logic. Whenever a loop is repeated, I will remove that loop, I will get some kind of path. So in the next I will do a theorem which will be like, whenever there is a UV walk, there is a UV path. So if I can find a walk from a vertex to another vertex, I can definitely find a path. That walk can be reduced to a path using the same concept. Understood the idea? Okay. Now one more thing. So I will not define subwalk now anymore. I'll ask you to write the definition. I will provide you the definition. You will write down the definition of subwalk and what I mean by reduction. You just keep this idea in mind, and with this idea they have defined what is mean by a subwalk and what is mean by the reduction of a walk by a subwalk. So that's all for today. If you have any doubts, any confusions, please ask. But please revise these topics. This will be important for us. Thank you.